Hi everybody, today we're back here. We're sawing up some lumber for some bee parts. We're going to make up some more stands which utilize eastern red cedar, sawed down to primarily heartwood. They'll last a long time. 4x4s and then 1.5 by 6, and I went ahead and put those up there where we got 4 boards 6 foot long and 2 boards 2 foot long, make up that frame, and then put the 4x4s down in the ground. Now I actually dig a hole 30 inches deep for each leg. Living up on this hill, we have some tremendous winds. I've been here for 18 years. We have actually, here in the, believe it or not, southern Indiana in the Midwest, have literally, since I've been here, one time we had an earthquake. Hurricane Ike came through here and completely destroyed the roof of that house and had to be all replaced. The barn down here on the right, that wasn't during Hurricane Ike, but we had straight line winds one time. Believe it or not, there was a barn that had been there for only less than a year, same size, literally went up and over the barn on the left and threw it down in the holler. Fortunately, the insurance company on all these things have taken tremendous care of me. But anyway, living on a hill, you learn to live with wind. There's advantages. You'll never flood, but you have to deal with wind sometimes. Anyway, I'll go over here and take a look at this sawmill. This sawmill shed was all built with this sawmill. I literally went in the woods with my tractor, sawed up, cut the trees down, selective trees, and sawed up all this lumber. We got walnut here on the ends for the siding, black walnut. The north side is ash siding, and the south side is eastern red cedar siding. But anyway, this sawmill was built with a set of plans from Linn Lumber Company, Linn Lumber Company. They're out of Oregon, and I bought the set of plans and I bought some of these parts from him. Nobody else was. If you want to build your own sawmill and you try and talk to any of the big sawmill companies, they will not help you whatsoever. In fact, I've asked them if they would be interested in sharpening my blades for me, and they won't do anything for you. If you don't buy their saw, you can just forget it. So anybody with aspirations to build us their own sawmill, save a lot of money, you can do it. This one here was the original one. I built it. It's got a Harbor Freight 11 horsepower motor, and it does a fine job. That's what sawed up all the lumber for this shed. Here recently, when I say recently, about 2 years ago, I switched over and built this one here with a Honda 20 horsepower motor, and it does a good job. Both of them. The other one still works. It's still on the same track. All I got to do is just hook up the electric, because it raises up and down and powers through the log with a variable rate rheostat there. Anyway, so we're sawing up some pine to make some bee boxes. We're also sawing up some of these cedars, which will become those stands. Got a bunch of other wood here, a bunch of walnut and cedar that just came off of strips. Sawed up some big slabs for some tables we're making at work. And anyway, just thought I'd share that. Some people kind of in the background see on these bee videos, well, what in the world is that? Yep, it's a sawmill shed. Homemade sawmills. There's just a bunch of big pile of wood in here, 4x4s, and then the 1.5 by 6s that I'll use for them stands. I'm going to set up 6 more stands for the nuke boxes that I'm going to do, and a couple other hives. And then also, there is no heavy lifting in this operation. I just come in, this crane right here, it travels back and forth. I built that into the sawmill shed, all homemade as well. Those are big ash beams up there with steel angles on the top, steel rollers that roll that thing, and then it's a hard maple, sugar maple is the main beam that the trolley goes back and forth on. And I've picked up more than the capacity of the crane, which is 1 ton, and I'm sure I've had logs on there that it really struggled and took everything I could to lift it up, just enough to roll it over on some of these bigger logs, and it had no problem. The capacity of this particular mill, it'll cut a 25-inch wide board, and you can do a log, start out with a log, by the time you whittle it down and get it down to a certain size, 30-inch diameter, or at minimum by 21 foot long. So it's got pretty good capacity. The track system is completely my own. It is actually elevator T-rails that comprise the actual track that it rolls on, and then the clamping system. These just variable pieces for whatever height, so you don't get into your blade, and then you can just push these over and clamp it with spring-loaded springs. But it does a good job. So, cutting up some parts for the bees. Have a great day, everybody.